Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Indoor Adventurers stream, where tonight we are going to be returning to the streets of Waterdeep. And I might sound like I am out of breath, and that's because I ran around the United States to come back to you guys so I could return. So I could return as a DM. Oh, I had the itch all week not being able to play with you guys. I'm glad you played. I'm glad you had some fun with Dungeon World last week, though. So if you're interested in seeing that Dungeon World game where we got to play with our dear friend JD Lady, then you can check that out on Cyberwolf 1201's channel, and that's super fun. I'm having a blast with it. And huge thank you to Cyberwolf for running the 4 Kids adventure last night. That was really fun to listen to. As you're the first person I've let DM my homebrew setting, so take that, every cool people. Also, while you were doing it, I don't know if you guys gave shoutouts to them, but TallDude626, thank you for the follow, and Mahillis Tintin, thank you guys for the follow. And I'm always glad to see new faces, and I hope I get to see you again. But
are we gonna bang for him?
Are we gonna bang him, or is it too late? Because I know that before it's
maybe
been...
later.
We haven't done it yet. Let's do it.
Let's get them bangs in.
It would be nice if they were here, but this is for you guys.
Oh, I didn't realize he has a Christmas wreath on him. That's so
not
great.
That's totally what it is.
Yeah.
Let's stick with that.
Yeah, a Christmas wreath. Yay!
Yep. That's a legal Christmas wreath.
Yep, a super legal Christmas wreath.
It is here.
Yeah. But let us get in to tonight's session, because I know that I have been... Were you going to drink hot sauce?
That's what I thought.
Anyways, that's a way to throw me on tilt, I suppose. Where we left off 2 weeks ago, which is a horrible sentence, and I hope I never have to say it again, except over the holidays, because then that'll be like 3 weeks. Anyways,
It'd be a month.
Last we left off, we had a rather lovely adventure. Our dear friend Wolf came back from the dead, being able to control a crawling claw that seems to have taken residence as his left arm, after he met with the goddess of bad luck. Then we also had some very intimate moments between the characters, as Wolf said to Hubris that he had 3 days, well, 4 days at the time, to try and win over Ghost's heart, or else he was going to start being a competitor in this whole love game. And then Ghost met up with Ziraj, the half-orc hunter, that was a member of the Zentarum, where he convinced you rather sternly to join the Zentarum, or they would use the information that they had on you as an arsonist to kind of, arrest you and then put you to death. It was a very convincing argument. Kronk, you kind of shared a little bit more of your story with Ghost as you guys reconciled over the death of Wolf. And upon him no longer being deceased, you decided to go down and have a raging good time in the bar, cheering all the more, he's not dead, getting drunk with Wolf. You guys ended your day there after a moment alone on the roof between Hubris and Ghost, where Ghost explained to Hubris that she was part of the Zents now, and revealed her tattoo. Then the following morning, 3 of you went downstairs to go and get coffee, where you made all of the best orders that you could, except for Hubris, who you were going to give a white coffee to, because fuck him, it's funny. Where Kronk revealed that he had gained, and I got the thought last week that it was metalworking skills. Is it stonemason skills? Okay, so where he had picked up stonemason skills and displayed a cool statue for the staggering spirit that he had been working on in secret And then what was your guys' plan? Were you going to be delivering the coffee upstairs, or were you just going to wait for Hubris downstairs?
I was gonna wait.
Okay.
We can't wait then.
Okay. So you guys were waiting for Hubris to come downstairs. And Hubris, you met a very interesting figure indeed. A character that looks almost identical to Ghost under an untrained eye, who asked you if you knew if this was the residence of one Klee Kai, which you believe this might be Ghost's twin sister.
Yeah, she's downstairs. Yeah, just follow me.
Okay. Yes, lead the way.
Just walk towards the door and just stay here real quick. I'm just gonna open the door and then just peek my head in. Ghost, darling, you've got a visitor.
It's a bit early for visitors. Can you ask them to come back?
Would you like to come back? And I'll open the door enough just for her to hear.
No, I'd prefer to talk to her now, if that's okay. Kai, are you in there?
Ghost immediately goes stiff and like whips around and what are you doing here? And I'm gonna stand up and walk over.
Well, I wanted coffee. I don't know what she's doing. Walks in.
So your sister comes over to you and she just kind of looks you up and down. Aren't you cold? That's fine. Here, come here. And she brings you into a hug and just kind of holds on to you.
Pause and then arms around, patting her back, and then a hug. Why? What are you doing here?
You sent me a letter saying that you died and then it was okay, and that there was a lot of... I had to see for myself. And so when I got your letter, I looked at the return postage, and it said Waterdeep. So I flew over as fast as I could.
I sent you the letter so you wouldn't have to come down here.
Well, it seems that there was a little miscommunication on our part. But that'll happen when you don't talk to each other for, what's it been, 10 years?
Yeah. Yeah, come in. Kronk?
And she approaches Wolf and extends her hand out, and she just says, Kleehoon, nice to meet you.
That's Wolf.
It doesn't look
I
like
also
a wolf.
recently died. Do I get a hug?
How recently did you die? You look terrible.
Yesterday.
Oh, don't worry. He always looks terrible.
Let's see if there's something I can do. I am a healer, if that's all right. Here, take a seat over here. And she just sort of like
You with the fire eye.
just motions you over to take a seat. She seems to kind of just be pushing you with the sternness of a medical professional who is currently seeking a patient.
Okay.
I'm gonna run to the cellar door and stomp on it.
And as you do, it lifts up.
Oh. Would you come up here, please? There's someone I'd like you to meet.
Uh-huh. And he starts coming out of the hole.
Hoon?
Yes?
This is Kronk. I've told him about you. He's my partner. We've been traveling for a long time together.
And when you say that, she looks at you and... Thank you for keeping my sister safe.
No problem. It's what I do.
And then she leans over to you, Wolf. He seems nice.
Oh, he's the one that killed me.
She'll just kind of slow head turn to you, look back.
He's my friend.
It's
Okay.
complicated. Why don't you just do what you're gonna do, and then we'll introductions proper.
Yes, that sounds, that seems like it would be for the best. Here, and she reaches into her pouch, and you can see that she pulls out what looks like 2 vials that have a very fine kind of shining powder in them. And she opens up one vial, sets it onto the ground, opens up another, sets it, or not onto the ground, but onto the table, and then sets another small pile onto the table. Let me see your hand. She motions to you, Wolf.
Which hand? My left or right? Because one of them does this, and I'll make my hand portable.
Oh. That's, your right hand will be fine.
Okay. I'll extend my right hand.
I almost feel like I'm going to regret doing this, but
Oh, you will.
It's fine.
I'm-
Just
he seemed like he needs this. And she'll put her hand on top of yours, and she closes her eyes, and you can just see that there are 2 separate flashes of very vibrant green energy as the Greater Restoration spell is cast on you twice, removing 2 levels of your exhaustion.
Oh, shit.
Now, I didn't come prepared with enough diamond dust to be able to cast that multiple times, but if you
Oh, you
died,
don't have to do this.
I know I don't. I know I don't have to, but I'm
You
a
are a
professional.
lot nicer than your, I'm assuming, sister. I personally haven't heard anything. Hubris, did you know that Ghost have a sister?
He's taking a drink of his coffee.
Which has 3 spoons of sugar in that.
He looks at it, smiles, and wiggles his eyebrows as he's like just drinking the coffee. That's how he likes it.
so
And she kind of looks at you, Ghost, and just says, "Must have slipped her mind."
Oh, yeah. Because having a twin totally slips everyone's mind.
Hell, we get busy.
they don't know a lot about my past. Kronk knows everything, but I kind of took the shifter way to heart after I left.
I understand.
This is Hubris. He's he runs the bar.
Yes, we met outside.
Hello.
And she kind of like puts her robe on tighter and like ties it. Do you I'm gonna change. Do you want to talk?
I think that would
Or-
probably be for the best.
Cool.
Tea, coffee, scone.
Tea is fine.
Walks into the back.
We have scones.
Opens the door. Maybe? I'll check.
All right. And then your sister just kind of looks at you for direction as she doesn't know where anything is in this establishment.
Let's go upstairs. So I'm gonna walk her out and upstairs to our room.
Okay. Yeah, and so you guys walk up to your room, and as you get changed, she's just kind of looking you over in a pseudo astonishment, as from when you had cast your spell on Wolf, you hadn't really cleaned up your arm at all, so there's just a lot of dried blood that's been caked into your left arm. And she can kind of also see that there are just these burned scars on your chest that seem to form some sort of language, as well as your eye is currently missing, and a lot of your hair is still kind of singed from when you had been burned a while back now. And she just kind of stands there. She doesn't say much of anything. She just kind of watches in, just kind of like looks over you until you're finished changing, and then, or at least until like a presentable state, and then she'll just run up and she'll hug you again.
And I'll hug her back this time with more vigor and excitement because I'm not around the people.
Yeah.
Hiding my feelings from. Where have you been? What have you been up to? It's been a while, and I'm gonna motion for her to sit on the bed with me.
And she's kind of just sits down next to you, and as she does, she says, well, after you left, I thought it would be best to use some of the skills that we learned to help people, to make sure that people don't look at us as something to be afraid of, but something to seek out in times of aid. I spent the last 10 years healing people, healing animals, healing anything that came to me looking for aid. I did my best to help. And so when I got your letter, I know that you didn't necessarily want me to come down and see you, but I still... Mother and father, uncle, our brothers, when I felt that breaking in my heart, I feared for the worst, and I didn't know where you were, I didn't know what to do, so I started to perform every ritual that I could to see if I could see if you were safe or not. And later that night, I couldn't find anything. I didn't feel anything. And I felt rage and anger and pain and emptiness. And so many emotions that I haven't let myself feel for so long. And that's why when I got your letter, I had to come. I had to see for myself. And it looks like you were barely scraping by as usual. She kind of just says, let me clean up your arm.
Yeah,
I would have
thanks.
failed if I let it get infected.
Yeah, thanks. I'm really sorry that I made you feel that way. I know that this whole twin connection thing, that's why I wanted to write you. I wanted to make sure that you knew that I had come back and I had found my way again.
Well, it seems like it. I mean, you own a house now. It's rather nice, and it's actually how I found you. To be fair, I came here, but I didn't know where to look. Came in a couple days ago, and then yesterday, I started hearing all sorts of people talking about an explosion, and I asked if anybody had seen anything that resembled my sister, because if you had died in that again, I wouldn't know of what to do.
Right.
But some of the people said that they saw somebody who looked like you moving around the house, this house, so I figured that I would just find you in the morning.
Where are you staying?
On a rooftop currently. It's rather
You're-
nice.
We have plenty of room here. You can stay here.
I don't want to impose. It's really not bad. I
I
tend to find
believe
places.
we have 2 spare rooms.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't have much. She kind of just like holds up her hands, kind of like looking down at herself. So I won't take up too much space.
Right. No, of course not. I share with Kronk, so I know that we can.
All right. And she puts her hand on your leg. He seems very nice. Are you two? You share this room. You called him your partner earlier. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page with this, so that way I can be respectful or give him a hug next time I see him.
Oh, I mean, we're not like intimate, if that's what you mean.
Well, he seems nice.
He's also almost twice my size. I mean, I've seen it. I don't think it would work. Anyways, I guess since you're here, I want you to know that, I mean, you know why I left, what I went to do. And part of the reason I haven't come back to see you is because I'm not done yet. I'm close. But
You say that now? But what happens when the last man leaves? What happens when you finish what you've set out to do? Will you come home?
well, I'll come visit. I just didn't want to come back unfinished. I didn't want to see you until I was done.
I don't know if you've recognized this or not yet, but you've changed.
What do you mean?
There's just from what they were saying downstairs. And I can tell when there's a little bit of snark in someone's voice or not, and the one that I was healing seems to be at least up to the brim with just pure snarkiness, but
Yeah.
there is truth behind jests. Do you help your friends? Or is this like when we were young and you would use the stronger boys to beat up each other for your amusement?
She kind of gets a little uncomfortable and starts scratching behind her ear. I am not as much. Not with them as much, I should say.
All right. Well, even if it's not as much, you should still focus more on helping your friends rather than using people. There's a reason I stayed behind, and that was to make sure that people could look to me for help.
I'm kind of... So, you saw the tattoos, and my eye's pretty obvious. I made a deal with a god.
Oh?
Asuran. The god of vengeance.
I have no idea who that is.
He basically I will be doing the same thing that you're doing in a different way, I think. In my own way.
As you always did.
Yeah.
And your friends, are they going to be doing the same thing?
I know they would if I asked them to.
Fair enough.
So do you have you settled down? Do you have a family?
Didn't have time. Really. I go where there are people in need. And it's not to say that I haven't met a few people that have sparked my fancy. It's just I'm busy. There are more people for me to take care of than just a smaller family. And if I cared for a smaller family rather than my family at large, which is north of the sea, then I wouldn't be doing my justice. I wouldn't be doing my due diligence to the people that don't know they need help.
That makes sense. Have you met any more of our kind?
No? It's just us.
So, how did you get down here so fast?
Like I said, I flew. In the time that we've been apart, I've honed my skills in more ways than just one. And then while
Like-
she's sitting there, you see her just shift down into a crow that just
Oh.
kind of looks up at you and it ruffles its
Oh.
feathers. And then she changes back. So it
Oh.
only took about 3 days as the crow flies, but I believe it was the letter getting to me that was the longer part.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, now that you're here, you're welcome to stay as long as you want, obviously. I can show you around the city if you'd like.
That sounds nice. I've never actually been to... The largest city I've been to was the surface area of Mirabar. I don't like caves all that much, but it wasn't nearly anything like this. This is a lot to take in.
Yeah, it's kind of a lot different than what we're used to, I should say. So, yeah, well, let's get breakfast. How about that?
Breakfast sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah. Breakfast sounds nice.
All right. And I get up and I walk to the door and then I stop and I turn. Just, the boys. I wouldn't suggest. Just kind of keep them at a distance.
I was going to anyways, because if your friends are killing your other friends and then they just pal around getting coffee together in the morning, that doesn't...
It's been a
Look,
long couple weeks.
That's not really my speed.
Right. Cool. And then I lead her back downstairs.
Yeah. And Wolf, Hubris, and Kronk, what are you three doing downstairs during this time? Because they are upstairs having this having a side conversation for quite some time.
So yeah, we do have scones.
The second they walked out the door, when the door closed, Kronk's like, "They don't look like twins. They don't look anything alike."
They look a little alike.
Dig back before the fire eye, and then just change the nose to pink on Ghost.
Nah, don't see it.
Yeah.
It's just Kronk being Kronk.
To each their own.
It's obvious, but not to him, because he looks at other things.
Listen,
And-
just because they have different muscle structures doesn't mean they're not, you know. Coffee, big guy?
No, but he does take a scone.
Okay.
So wait, you both knew Ghost had a sister. What else don't I know?
I don't know what you don't know. That's only up to you about what you don't know. That's the logic that's behind this.
I've just been recently resurrected, so give me some slack, okay?
Sure. So, yeah, ask for this
Okay.
black.
Yeah, I know, and you punched me last night, so
It wasn't an unreasonable... You know what, let's just call this even.
okay. So when I went to prison,
Right,
you were caught sneaking around at night,
right,
and you had a job.
right.
That done?
It's done.
How'd it go?
Pretty poorly.
Hmm?
We kind of killed the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Who did the killing blow?
This weird masked person. Red scarf, DM,
Red Hood.
Red Hood.
And I stomped him just to be sure.
Yeah,
Nice boots, by the way.
Hmm.
those were his.
Then the Red Hood guy
Fucked off onto the roofs.
didn't chase him.
We were kind of hurt.
Didn't get a whiff of his scent.
Listen, we were kind of hurting.
Ghost was down.
Ghost went down.
What?
Got shot.
Like twice.
The only person I know with a gun is Hubris.
Oh, so let's backpedal a bit. The other guy had a gun as well. Which blows my mind because I don't think these are a normal occurrence.
No.
No, yeah. I didn't shoot Ghost. I would never shoot Ghost. I'd shoot you two fucks in a heartbeat, but never Ghost.
So the other person,
You did shoot me.
Yeah, that's what I said, big guy. I would shoot you guys, but never Ghost.
managed to, out of the three of you, shoot Ghost, who almost died for like a second time. I'm not counting the time when she actually died because
I mean, if you haven't seen it already, Kronk's pretty handy with a medical kit. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. That poor taste? A little poor taste.
And Kronk just doesn't get it at all.
it's how many days was that since we went into the sewer and the warehouse thing?
Sewer and warehouse thing was at this point about a month ago.
So it was like 4 or 5 days before I went to prison.
Like
Yeah.
a week after you went in prison, roughly.
She's almost averaging almost dying once a day. Okay.
I wouldn't say once a day, more like every fortnight.
Glass ballista.
Glass ballista.
Yeah, but ballistas actually do something first before they go down.
Ooh, fuck. Oh,
that got you the skull face.
I'm sorry. I thought it was Ghost Sister that asked for the tea. Oh. Christ.
Yeah, when I hear the door open and they're coming back, I'm going to just instantly turn into some fight story from prison in my time, like from 2 days ago.
Okay. Yeah, because it's only been 2 days since our dear friend Wolf got out of prison.
It's only been 45 minutes since Ghost took a nap.
All right, so yeah, that's about the point that Ghost and her twin Klee Hoon show up.
So then this snitch in prison walks up with the shiv and tries shivving me.
You know what they do say, snitches get stitches, as it were?
Yeah, that's what happened to him. And then, you know, within 30 minutes, I get released, and then yous were like picking me up 2 days ago, and here we are.
That's not true.
Which part?
That we were late.
No, we were actually fairly on time. You ditched us.
Potato, potato. Okay.
Wait, why are you telling us this story? You're making up a story about us that we were there for.
Does anyone have any breakfast making skills?
We have scones.
And tea.
That's not a breakfast.
Hoon just
Oh,
It is-
steadily raises her hand from right beside you.
I put it down. You're a guest. You're not supposed to cook.
I can see what I can whip up, but I promise it is not going to be good. Or we can go to the saucer and get a proper meal. Or we can wait for the staff to get in and have them make a breakfast.
The hell.
Let's go to the saucer.
Okay.
It's a nice establishment.
It's not an actual saucer where we pour like milk into it, because that'd be rude.
I understand what a shop is.
I just didn't know if you knew about the
So where is
chain.
this saucer? And she looks at you, Ghost.
Hubris leaves to go get changed and then comes back.
Oh, and when he gets, does anyone else need to change out of their jammies?
I have 2 sets of clothes and 1 set cloak, which I walked in disguise, and the other is what I died in.
Why did you have to walk in disguise into your own bar?
Because Before I went to prison, did not leave on the best of terms here, where the guy which just left had a gun pointed at me.
I don't know what
Really,
that
I
is.
also had my rapier drawn at him.
Is it like a crossbow? What's a
No,
gun?
no.
Oh, it's a thing which he uses to channel his magic.
Not the type of gun which, as I just recently found out, shot your sister.
Oh yeah.
I. Hmm.
Did someone call for a son of a gun?
And Kronk has the like sleeveless training shirt he wears around the place, and he lumps down and gets his disguise clothes with the long sleeves and the hood.
Okay.
Shall we?
Sounds good to me.
We go.
All right. And then you guys continue on to the Astral Saucer, where you order your basic foods, and along the way, Hoon just sort of leans into you, Ghost, and says, "I could have just made good berries if you all want to save on a little bit of money.
Oh, we
Small
make a
berry
lot of
feeds
money
you for a
with
day."
This place feeds us well.
Oh.
Plus, I want you to see the sights, and food is an important part of towns. So,
The woodworker isn't.
oh yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think he likes me.
Mm.
Kronk's eyes narrow. He's like, mm-mm.
Right.
Probably because I punched him, but
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's refrain from telling my sister any more bad stories about our lives.
Tell me about your work in the north.
Well, I'm more of a shepherd than a medical worker, if that makes sense. I go around from city to city, to grove, finding either animals or people who are in need of a little help, and I use my skills to heal them. And if they're being badgered around by anything that needs to be put a stopping to, I can usually just convince it to leave. Not people, though. Can't do that.
Convinced it like forcefully or with the word talk?
I use my mouth to speak words.
Okay.
he's the most charismatic person in our group with the word talk.
It's early morning. Leave me alone.
That's fine.
So fairies and fiends, you
Well, and thankfully I don't really have to deal with that so much as I have to do an ornery bear every once in a while coming down and attacking some deer, and I can usually just direct it to somewhere else. Or,
So you can talk to animals.
yes.
There was a pretty peculiar rat the other month.
Oh,
What?
there was a peculiar rat. We met a rat who, in the sewers, who stood up on his back legs and I believe he wiggled his finger at us.
He had gone like that with his hands.
Oh yeah, he shoot us out.
Is
I
this
see.
part of some big city thing that I don't know about?
Please clue me in as well, because I'm from the big city and I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Haha, something you didn't know about.
There's a lot of things I don't know about. We have a club. There's jackets.
Well,
Kronk got that one, so he chuckled.
well, if it was a rat who waved at you, it could have been either a wizard who had polymorphed himself into a rat. It could have been a, well, sorcerer or bard, I guess, would have also done that. Could have been somebody like me, who was able to transform themselves into a rat and was just hanging out. It could also have been, I mean, are you familiar with werewolves?
Yes.
Heard of them. They're in this book some guy Bolo wrote.
Oh, yes, you might like Volo. Maybe we'll swing by.
Nobody likes Volo.
Well,
Nobody likes us either, but
Oh,
People
except
like
his
us.
except his boyfriend.
not Fabio.
Or it could have been something like that, but for rats. Maybe if I had
So you
seen
You
it,
turn-
would be able to better tell you what it is, but right
don't
now I
think
can
we'll
only
be-
give you what I
It's
would
fine.
guess within a realm of possibility.
It's fine.
I'm just reminiscing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, what do you want to see while you're in town?
Well, I wanted to see you, and then you said that you would show me the city that I've never been into, and I live very, very far to the north. I've heard that there's a guild presence here. It sounds very bureaucratic. I don't really know. We could just walk around. I'm sure there's bound to be something.
Ice cream.
Ice cream. Let's get some ice cream.
Well, ice cream is so common where we come from.
Mm.
I don't know, last time they got ice cream,
We get snow cones.
I missed out.
Snow cones.
Much easier to make up there.
Is it
Mhm.
true you should never eat yellow snow?
No, you never eat yellow
Don't
snow.
eat that.
Sea
It makes
Kronk?
you incredibly intelligent. It increases your intelligence twice fold if you eat the yellow snow.
Hmm.
But only afterwards.
And during. You become wise beyond your wildest years, I assure you. It's a northerner's secret.
And you guys see Ghost just kind of chuckles to herself.
She
How do
can
you-
laugh.
How do you tell yellow snow from pea snow?
I'll explain it to you later, Kronk.
Because
Taste test.
when you pee in the snow, it turns yellow.
Well, if
Does
you
it really? I wouldn't know. Girls don't pee.
Hmm. That ain't right.
All right, boys, why don't we meet you back at the pub?
Right, I have some accounting to do.
Wait,
Yeah.
question. Pub? Is
Tavern.
the yawning portal here?
Yes.
I've heard it just as a pit that goes to nowhere, and I'd
We should go.
Yeah.
rather like to look in it. Just to see
Sure.
it, really.
Don't ask if you can throw a dead body down there because you get denied.
Though if you smash a troll in the head and it falls in, that's really cool.
I'm
But it's
sure
the
it
same
is.
situation.
All
We
right.
could check in at the yawning portal. There's
We know people there.
we know people there.
He
just
used
see
to
what's
be
up.
our
We
haunt.
haven't been back since.
We have.
What? You have?
We have. We've been
I
looking
haven't.
for you there.
Kronk even ran in there and grabbed Volo once.
That's true. Well, let's wander that way. Boys, would you like to join us, or
Yeah.
I have stuff I have to get done.
Oh, come on. Well,
Plus, I'm super tired
I
still.
nudge Hubris?
And but I do need to talk to you later, Ghost, about some little snaky friend
Oh, yeah.
and the whole tattoo thing.
Which one?
The one written in Celestial on your chest, which I saw while you were in your nightgown when we were getting coffee.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. And she's ready to go whenever you guys are.
Yeah.
All right.
Go to the yawning portal.
All right. Sounds good. Make a survival check as you lead your sister through the city.
Okay. Can I take her on the like the scenic route? I
Yeah.
guess.
You definitely take
Well,
her on the
I
scenic
rolled-
route.
Let's see. A survival. Oh, that's a 13.
All right. So with a 13, you end up going through you would know that the better looking parts of town are the more religious sectors that tend to outline the northernmost part of the dock ward where it touches with the castle ward. And as you go, you continue on your way to the Holy Hands house. Where a lot of different religions are celebrated, and you know that that's where you would check to see if there was a small shrine to Hor in there, and that's where Wolf had taken some money from the Red Knight, and you had kind of looked by there a few times just to make sure that the priest that you were looking for didn't reside there at all.
Yeah.
And you still, just on a basic look, kind of glancing around, you don't see anybody wearing those vestments, as you would know that those were all at the Spire of Mourning.
Right.
And then you continue on your way until you get to, until you end up getting to close towards the Spire of Mourning. And that's when Hoon actually kind of stops and is just kind of looking up into the sky and glancing around. You can see that you're actually by another temple. This is called the Temple of, or the House of Inspired Hands, which you would know to be a temple to the deity Gond, a god of invention, as well as Saloon, who is a god of who's not only the goddess of the moon, but also of knowledge. And so this seems to be very much like a tinkerer's home. And as Hoon is looking up, do you follow where she's looking with your eyes at all?
Yeah.
And then Hubris and Kronk, are you guys doing the same, or are you kind of caught up in your own side conversation walking forward?
We're letting them have their own couple of 5 paces ahead of us. But if they stop and look, I'll look.
Yeah. So you see on the top of this building a creature, a humanoid figure that is wearing this large red hat and seems to have these kind of reddish vestments over its chest. And as you guys all just kind of stop and look up at it, you see that it turns and twists away where this flourish of red kind of follows it down. And Hoon just kind of squints her eyes and points up. Are these common in your city? It looked like a metal man.
Are they common in our
Make
city?
a history check. And everyone can make a history check.
I mean, I can be found perusing the roof sometimes.
And what was this place called?
This was the House of Inspired Hands.
Inspired Hands.
You got a 1, Kronk? Yeah, you don't notice. You'd think that you would, as once every year, there is a festival that takes place. And during this festival, the House of Inspired Hands lends out many of these metallic figures called Nimblewrights that actually will go on marches through the town to kind of celebrate the House of Inspired Hands at all. But you normally only ever see them in one specific place during one specific time. So seeing one just kind of on a rooftop fluttering away seems rather odd. And Hoon just kind of seems to be very confused looking at this creature, or looking at where this creature was. So when I was looking for you call her Ghost?
Yeah.
Weird. So
It's a pet name, really.
Wait.
So
I'm joking.
when I was looking for you,
Mm-hmm.
I was asking people generally what happened around the explosion, because I wanted to know if you were there or not,
Yeah.
if you were part of them or not. But one of the people that I talked to said that they saw a man like that running across the rooftops.
Oh?
Huh.
Yes, and he threw down a small orange bauble or something and caused the explosion.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Who told you this?
Well, she was dressed very well. It was towards one of the northern crossroads of the city. She seemed very sad. She said that she knew some of the halflings that were caught in the blast.
Oh. Well, we'll have to talk to her. We kind of wanted to figure out what was going on, and the Crown's Guard didn't tell us anything, so might be something to look into. Thank you.
It's much easier to ask people about things like that when I guess you're not wearing guard regalia and you look a little disheveled like myself.
You look fine.
I do my best. She like straightens her jacket a little bit. But I don't
Kronk leans into Hubris and says, "Did she just say that temple over there blew up our street?"
No. Something like that was seen running on the roofs by our establishment, and we will look into it. Don't cause ruckus.
Hmm.
All
I
right.
mean, you can cause a ruckus later on when we find out what's going on, but for now, keep it checked.
All right, he's eyeballing a cabbage cart, thinking about throwing it into the temple. But
As I walk past her, I'm just gonna snap my finger and clean her.
Okay. Yeah, and you see that where her hair was kind of a straw-colored yellowed like tinge to it. It actually gets cleaned out, and her fur is then more kind of that pristine white color that Ghost's is. Even if the texture is a little bit different, she looks very much more like Ghost now that you have cleaned her up a little bit.
I raise a finger to my lips. Just keep walking.
now I see it.
Okay.
We're gonna keep going to the yawning portal.
Alrighty, sounds good. And then, Wolf, what are you doing?
I want to go exchange my little gems I have for gold,
Okay. Sounds...
and then that seems simple, doesn't it?
Alright, so you're getting your gemstones turned into money and then using that money to buy clothes?
It wasn't necessarily buying clothes.
Okay.
Probably should though, shouldn't I? How bad are my clothes?
How much are clothes in general?
How bad are my clothes?
Yours...
I'm assuming
There's a lot
my
of stains in them.
coat sleeve is
Yeah.
like half gone.
Yeah,
So I
it's...
probably should.
Yeah, you...
And I wanted to drop off like 10 gold into the Red Knights boxing because I feel bad.
Okay. Sounds good. So yeah, you go and you take care of that, no problem. Are you looking to buy fancy clothes or regular clothes?
I just want to replace my clothes.
All right, so that is going to be 1 gold piece to change out your clothes. Kind of newer looking ones.
How much is diamond dust?
Depends on a quantity.
Whatever was used on me.
You would have guessed upon kind of going through stores that that each of those vials was about 100 gold pieces worth.
Okay. I'll buy. I had 3 gems, right?
Yeah.
Left. And they're worth how much?
They were worth 100 gold pieces apiece.
I'll buy 2 lots to replace what was used on me.
Okay. Sounds good.
And then, yeah, I would just go back to the tavern and rest. Because I've still got 1 level of exhaustion.
Okay. They're just hanging out. And then the rest of you do end up going to the yawning portal. when you guys end up making it in there. And Durnan kind of like looks at you and is just like looks at you, Ghost, and then looks over at Hoon and just kind of continues to going back to what he was doing. He waves at you guys as you were once regulars, and he actually kind of motions for you guys to come and sit at the bar.
We do.
I'm in disguise.
Well, I can see that. Looks very nice. Now, I've heard through grapevine they all started your own business in the North War. Is that right?
Yes, sir, we did.
That's probably why I haven't seen you in some time. But I wanted to say, running a bar ain't easy.
No, it's not. I like lean over. How do you do it every day?
Well, I'll let you in on a secret. I don't know. Some days I would much rather still be going through Undermountain. Let me tell you, some customers are the absolute worst. Which, speaking of, I noticed that one fella ain't with you guys this time.
Yes, he's dead.
No, but ho.
No, that was yesterday.
Yeah.
Y'all interesting folk. As congratulations and a bit of condolences, here, and he brings you guys each a mug of whatever you order. And Hoon, she kind of like looks at the three of you, and as Durnan turns around and walks away, just, what should I order? I'm kind of just used to wine from the townspeople.
I mean, it depends. What's your fancy? Wine, white, red. There's ale, mead.
I think I'll just take a red wine. That
Excellent choice.
it seems easy.
Do you have the problem with it staining?
Yes, but I kind of just stopped caring after a while.
Fair enough.
You just rinse it with water. Make sure you're very thorough. And most of the creatures that I talk to are animals, and they don't really seem to care one way or the other.
Fair enough.
And then Durnan comes back, brings out your guys' drinks, and then she'll place her order in as well. And you guys have a very nice kind of midday meal. As everything is comped by Durnan as, again, condolences for you guys having opened a bar rather than any other kind of establishment. And then he kind of winks to you guys and just says, I was looking for a little friendly competition in bar owner, but just so you know, I am one of the more established places in Waterdeep. So you're going to have to work awful hard if you ever want to think of even unseating me. And it helps if you have a bottomless pit.
I mean, have you seen Kronk eat? We have our very own bottomless pit.
And it's just a front for it's a good place.
Pat him in the stomach.
And if you ever want to come visit, you are definitely welcome. You will have drinks on us.
I'll take you up on that if I ever, one, get a day off, and two, ever find myself up past the North Ward.
Mm.
You need yourself a ghost. Not that ghost.
That ghost, and he points at your twin.
No.
And she just,
Neither one.
Sternan, do you still offer rides into the portal?
rides? No. No. Once you get past a certain point, it becomes scarier than hell, and I don't want to deal with that. But I will let you know that if you plan on going into the portal, you drink as much as you want. I'll waive the fee as long as you pay it back when you get back from Undermountain.
Hoon, do you want to look in?
And she just kind of nods, and then walks over and kind of leans over a little bit, kind of like getting down on the ground to kind of peek over. And then you just hear, hello! Hello, hello, hello. Yep,
And
yep.
and Kronk's ready to grab anyone who slides too close.
Yeah, nobody seems to be really paying much attention. This seems to be a very common occurrence in the yawning portal of people just testing how bottomless this pit actually is.
I don't really think it's pretty bottomless. A troll climbed out of there once. Remember that?
Yes.
Happens more often than you would think.
It happened recently. Again.
Hold on.
Watch this. And I'm gonna cast thaumaturgy down in the hole, like a loud bang,
Okay.
so that it echoes farther.
And Hoon's eyes just, like, she's kind of, like, taken aback a little bit, like, was not expecting magic to be cast down the hole. And she just kind of stands up and then comes over to the table. I think there's something in there.
There's probably a lot of things in there. It's all right, though. We'll take care of anything that comes out, won't we?
Oh no, fuck that. I'm leaving. I'm kidding.
Well, do you want to see the ocean?
I think I would like that. So,
Right.
yeah. So you guys pack up all of your stuff and start heading out. And as you do, the air is getting a little bit chillier. And you see that Hoon just kind of pulls out a thicker shawl and just wraps it around herself to try and stay just a little bit warmer. And as you guys walk over to the harbor, you see that there are 3 very large ships that have been here for a while, but you guys never really took too much mind of. But now, from what you are currently able to see, is that there is what looks to be a kind of striped tent on the front hull of one of these ships. So or I think it's hull on the front deck. That's the word. Hull's the bottom part, so that wouldn't make any sense. But on this front deck, and you can see that it looks like there are people getting set up for some kind of event. And you aren't necessarily sure, but you see painted on the sides of these ships that there is, it says the Sea Maiden's Fair along its side.
Huh.
And Hoon just kind of curiously just, what is that going to be? What are they doing
know.
out there?
Is it spelled Fare or Fair?
Fair.
Okay.
With an
Perhaps
E
it'll-
at the end.
God damn it.
Perhaps it's some sort of festival ship.
A carnival, as it were?
Perhaps.
And Kronk would give Hoon his cape because he can withstand winter without wearing clothes.
She kind of has to like bundle it up
Yeah.
at the back so it doesn't drag.
like a blanket.
Not to be outdone, I'm gonna drape my coat over Ghost.
I kind of look at it and I look at him and I'm like, I'm thanks. Can we ask someone around?
Yeah. So it doesn't really take you much difficulty finding somebody. But it's not like the first person that you ask walking by. So you ask a couple people. And then one of them says that they aren't really sure what it is. Like they do know, but they just aren't necessarily sure why. Over the fall, while you guys were getting a lot of rest in, having been shot in the stomach and in jail, all of that jazz, you had kind of just passed by it, but you would know that a Luskan sailor has come down and carried 3 ships with him. A man by the name of Zardaz Zord, and he operates a naval carnival. And over this last season, they had actually pulled in about halfway through fall and just had a carnival most nights. It just allowed people onto the ship and would sail them out so that way they could actually have an enjoyable evening, and then they would sail them back. And they had taken everything down several days ago, or at this point it would be about 15 days ago that they had kind of took everything down, as winter is now starting to creep in and it's just not as good of weather for a seafaring carnival versus how it is in the fall. But they don't necessarily they don't really know why it's being brought up again. And we will use this as our first break for the evening because Greybeard's got to go tuck in the elves. That's all right. So we will see you guys in 5 to 10 minutes. So don't go no place, and we will see you shortly. All right, everybody. Thank you for coming by. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another continuation of the Indoor Adventures. I'm out of practice, so my transitions aren't as fluid as they have been previously, but that's what happens when you go on vacation just a little bit.
Shouldn't go on vacation.
I shouldn't. I should just do this. That's it. That's all I want, is to just play Dungeons and Dragons with you guys. So, where we last left off was It sounded weird when I said it the first time in my head. But you guys were at the Yawning Portal with Klee Hoon, and were just getting done making your way to the dock ward, where you found out that there was a set of carnival ships that had docked in Waterdeep during the fall that had finished up their regular carnival dealings about 15 days ago, but then today they are once more bringing out this kind of large striped carnival place, and they seem to be working on it, but you guys aren't really sure why. But that is currently happening, and as you continue on your trip through Waterdeep, are there any other places that you would like to go as you stand by the ocean for a while? But it's not like Hoon has seen the ocean before. It's not a mind-boggling experience. Like, where does the water go? She's like, this is nice. Did you guys have any other places?
I would want to take her to like buy her something nice, like clothing or something.
Okay. And she, when you go to say like, all right, we should buy you some nicer clothes, she kind of like brings her hand up and stops you and says, if you're really wanting to buy me anything, I think it would be nice to have better medical supplies up north, and the city seems big enough that I could probably find some.
Sure, if that's what you'd like.
And she kind of nods. It's just like, yeah. So we can either find a medical kit of some sort, or if there's an herbalist, I can probably do something with that.
I have the perfect person for you.
Are you talking about Prickly Pete? Is his
No.
name?
It's not
Shoot, I forgot his name.
their name.
No. Different person.
A different person?
The king of Flavortown. The king of Potion Town.
Potion Pete.
Potion Pete. No, not Potion Pete. God, where's my notebook? Philip.
Tali?
No, it's
Fala.
Paula.
Yes.
The one you left at the bar.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yes, we could go see Fala and maybe get you a medical kit along the way if we pass a general store.
They can set you up with a couple of herbs, some poultices maybe. We'll see.
Oh, okay. Hopefully. Sounds rather nice.
Let us go back to our home.
Okay.
I would like to pass like a general store and just pick up like a normal medicine kit.
So a regular medicine kit is going to be a look in here.
And so the clown has his hand in the pickle jar and he's trying to pry it out. Hits the dignitary across the face, and I'm just standing there mortified, and my dad's standing there mortified, and well, we gotta get kicked out of the palace.
It's going to be 40 gold pieces.
Okay.
Holy shit.
That's most of my gold.
For the quality one that she was looking at.
Yeah.
She is very, very thankful for you handing over all of that money, as she knows that it's not necessarily easy to come by. And then she says, "If it helps, I can pay for my own herbs."
Yeah, whatever you want to do. I'm here to help you.
All right. So yeah, you guys end up going to Fala's place, Coralon's Crown, making your way by your establishment, and then finding your way to Fala's place. And when you get in there, they turn and look at you. You're just, "Oh, hello, Hubris. Hello, Ghost.
Hey.
Big guy." And she kind of gives Kronk finger guns, and or they said, and then they see Hoon, and just, well, this is actually rather interesting. I don't believe I've ever met you. Are you new here, or have I just been slightly getting played, and there's two of you?
Silent image. It's a magic spell. It's her sister.
It's very nice to meet you. I'm Fala, and she extends her hand out. And then Hoon kind of clasps her hand and says, "I've heard that you're an herbalist. It's nice to meet you as well." And Fala just kind of nods in agreement with this claim about their profession. And then you start seeing the two of them begin talking about plants in a very, very detailed manner that just, like, mind-numbing. It's like being with your mom at the store when you're like, "I don't know what they're saying." No one knows what you're saying.
Thread count. What the fuck?
What's thread count? How do you count these things?
It's like being Kronk all the time.
All the time. For a brief moment, all three of you are Kronk.
Well, yeah.
Yes. And then you actually hear, or make a perception check.
Hubris dice, don't fail me now. No.
15.
15.
Okay.
Ooh.
Sounds good. So, the two 15s, you guys actually hear pretty heavy footfalls coming from the back end of the store, where you can see that there were a set of stairs kind of going up top, and they start coming down right as Fala and Hoon kind of go into the back to look more at seeds and other things that could be of use to Hoon. So they kind of just disappear from around the corner. And then all three of you see a very large half-orc figure, just kind of hands in his pockets, walking down these steps until he comes up to the two of you.
"Morning, folks. How's it going, big guy?"
And you recognize this as your half-orc handler.
Hello, stranger.
Morning, boss.
I figured it'd be easier to talk to the two of you than it would be to talk to both of you individually. And, big guy, it's always a pleasure. Now, I realized yesterday that I forgot to tell you something, Ghost. The man that
Yes?
you're looking for,
Oh.
we have a name.
Okay.
We don't know where he is right now. But you are going to be looking for. Let me turn to Appendix B!
Is that his name? Appendix B?
Yes, my most hated foe, Appendix B. No.
I like both of my appendi. Wait, no, you only get one. Never mind.
His name is Rabaz.
Rabaz.
Spell it for me.
HRABBAZ.
God damn it. Wizards of the Coast, come on. Like, come on. Okay.
Rabaz.
Alright.
Now,
Human
half orc,
half orc.
shorter than me, for sure. Now, you'd think with a face like his he'd be easy to find. But it seems we got a defector on our hands who's a little bit better at hiding than I thought.
Is it Nubtooth?
No.
Oh.
Nubtooth's simple, he would never betray us. If anything, he's only part of the Zentarum just because, it's free food and a bed.
Fair enough.
And he makes money by people selling stuff.
Yeah.
Now this half-orc, his face is kind of fucked up. Not in the cool way like yours is.
Thank you.
No, he's got something on his lip. Split, you can see some of his teeth poking out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he was supposed to report back on a mission about finding something. About
Well,
week and a half ago, 10 day and a half ago. God damn it, Ed Greenwood. Your confusing numerical numbers.
where was he supposed to be? Where would be a
Well-
good place to start?
I think he was holding up somewhere in the North Ward. Somewhere around here. It's why I'm staked out. That and, well, it's easier to see some of my best friends.
Well, very kind of you to give us this information. You never gave me your name.
Zaraj.
Very fine name.
Thank you. name
Is there
I
anything
heard.
else we need to know? Anything that he might have that might be dangerous?
Shouldn't.
Is he powerful in his own right?
No. No, he's a piece of shit in his own right, is what he is.
Then this will be fun.
I would assume so. Now again, you're good at tracking people. You're good at tracking people.
And he points to you, Hubris.
And you want to stop the people that made that explosion, don't you? Seems like we're all in agreement here.
What, do you know anything about that explosion? We heard tell that there was a metal man on the roof, one of the nimble rights. That
Drop
might have...
something in a bucket somewhere.
Do you know what that something was?
Something magical. Amulet. 2 beads.
I think I know what you're talking about.
You could ask Nubtooth for more detail. He sold it off.
I think I'll have to after this. Get a little bit of a better understanding. 'Cause we can use something like that to figure out if it still has a connection with whatever used it or threw it, or did whatever with it.
We did see one today, one of the nimble rights, on the Inspired Hands
Hands
Tower. Might be a good place to check.
Well, I'm sure You all will investigate it very thoroughly.
I do everything very thoroughly.
Well, I'm going back upstairs to my room. So if you ever need anything, just come by and ask Fala. They've always been a huge help.
And he'll just kind of put his hands back on his pockets and just begin walking up the stairs.
Thanks for the invitation.
He just motions with his hand, just doesn't say anything. And then you see him go up, and door opens, shuts, he's gone. And it's about that point that the door downstairs comes open, and Fala and Hoon are caught up in conversation. Hoon just has armfuls of herbs.
Well, I see you two have fast friends.
They know so much about plants. In a city as big as this, you have a lovely garden. She just like pats Fala on the arm. And Fala just like kind of smiles sheepishly to themselves. As Hoon sets everything out and begins helping Fala weigh everything out, and you see coins exchanged between the two. As then Hoon kind of stuffs them all into a larger bag and sets it over her shoulder. She says, "All right, well, I'm ready to go whenever you guys are."
Yes, absolutely. Ready to head back to our place. Is it like afternoon?
Yeah, this is early afternoon at this point.
So would the spirits be open?
Yes, the spirits and spirits is most certainly open.
All right. Well, why don't we head back to our place then?
Sounds good. I'm gonna set these everything in. I don't know which room is mine.
I'll show you.
All right. Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you guys head back to Spirits and Spirits. And Ghost takes Hoon upstairs and shows her where her room is and sets everything down. And then Wolf, what are you currently doing? As you had left them earlier in the day, and then you said that you went back home to rest.
I've been playing Noughts and Crosses and Hangman with Liv on the chalkboard.
Okay. Sounds good. And then
I'm not doing too well. Okay, I'm losing big time.
what were you doing when people started showing up? Because the
making
bar-
a group game of Hangman, and I'm expecting there's going to be a crowd yelling out, "Is there an S?"
Okay. So yeah, Hubris and Kronk, as you guys come downstairs, you hear people in the crowd chanting letters, and Wolf brings his arm up and says, "Is there an S?" As you see another arm get added onto a little hangman, or a rather large hangman at this game. And what are you guys doing as you see that the bar is starting to get into full swing?
I guess I'm gonna manage.
Okay.
Like
I'm gonna do my job, which is yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so
Truly or not.
so yeah, you guys end up going down, and after about 2 hours of just kind of sitting and hanging out at the bar, enjoying drinks as they come and go, you see that Not Doug comes in very confidently, as they always do. And as they hop up onto the bar, they tell you, Wolf, thank you for entertaining the crowd, but you can take your leave now if you would like.
I'm still just going to stare at this dude like I know him, but can't put my finger where.
And he just gives you a very charming smile, like you've seen him give many a groupie.
Not Doug.
I don't want to walk up.
Okay.
I want to punch him, but I don't want to punch him.
Yeah, and you see that Not Doug is getting ready to begin their performance, and then they start playing along, and it starts off with like these very these very casual songs, just these very nice kind of mellow drinking songs. And as the night progresses, they get more and more boisterous, and you can see that Hoon, even though her face is covered in fur, she is starting to get a little bit red in the cheeks as she keeps enjoying wine and these songs of the town, until eventually she looks over at you, Ghost, and she says, "Oh, this is the city that I have always been wanting to see, because I can finally just let go a little bit." And she like pulls her hair that had been tied up in the back down, and it just kind of falls forward.
You are free to let go as much as you want, knowing that I have your back.
Thank you. This is very nice.
Whoops, gonna slide right up. Hello.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab the 2 things I bought today, which cost me a load of my money. Did I buy the actual potion or just the diamond dust?
It would be just the diamond dust, but they would have included it in a vial free of charge for having spent so much money.
I'm gonna hand the diamond dust over, most likely to Ghost, because her sister looks quite drunk.
Oh,
This is for your sisters. Thanks for kind of
Hoon,
doing voodoo shit.
Wolf has a present for you. And I hand her the 2 vials.
She looks at them and just, "Well, that was very kind of you, but you didn't have to."
Yeah, I did.
You know, I tell that to Wolf all the time. You didn't have
You've
to.
never said I've been kind before.
No,
Wolf.
I haven't. I mean, you didn't have to.
I lean over to Hoon and I whisper in her ear, "You know, now you have to sleep with him, right?"
I would give all of this back and so much more to not sleep with him.
Nice. I have a passive perception.
Ghost
I'm right
had
here.
a huge laugh. I'm joking, of course.
It wouldn't have happened. He's
Yeah,
not
it would
really
not.
my type.
Yeah.
And she says that loud enough for you to hear, Wolf. Which,
I could-
with a passive perception of 22, really not that loud.
Oh, fucking conversation.
What is your type now? I mean, when we were children, you, barely looked at boys.
Well, that one knows how to play music. She points up at the front man of Not Doug, his red hair just kind of flowing over his shoulders as he strums the lute.
Oh yes, bards. Typical.
Well, he knows how to play.
He has talented fingers, I'm sure.
She just kind of giggles to herself. You would not believe the low quality of bards we get up north. It's usually kids making their way to bigger and better things off of their father's dollar / gold piece, because currency. Or it's some old drunk blowing into a jug to make some kind of hooing noise, and at that point all of the owls in the forest are just better company. But this one, and as she does it, you see Davil turn to her and just kind of give her a wink as she makes eye contact with him. She's like, "But this one can play."
Well, if you'd like, I can put in a good word for you.
Does he play at your bar often?
Every night.
Maybe you should.
Would you like something more to drink, my dear?
Just a little bit of water. I'm feeling a little flush. And just, I'm feeling good.
Yes, you've gone a little pink. I'll get her a glass of water.
Okay.
And I'm not drinking.
Has she seen Lif at all? Like, bringing mugs and whatnot?
I don't think that she would have yet. Because, like, there hasn't really been an option for it. But as you sit down and you actually start drinking as well, yeah, she would have seen it. during that time. She would not have been drinking nearly to that point yet. That she has been currently. So when the first mug comes out, her eyes do go wide.
Thank you, buddy.
Do you have an invisible man who serves you drinks?
Let's live.
We have a dead elven man who haunts this place, and he also bartends.
He's the best.
He's the best, actually.
Second best.
The city is wonderful. I really didn't know what to expect, but this is quite. So do I just say my order out loud and a thing shows up? How does this work?
Hey, Liff. So this is Ghost's sister. Show her all the hospitality you would Ghost.
Please.
And you just hear a yay!
Well, as the night winds down, I would take her back to bed and show her her room and everything like that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. She seems to just kind of be like, she doesn't seem like she necessarily drank too much. Like she's still able of standing and doing everything on her own. It was just that she's kind of a lightweight. Mm-hmm. Comparatively to you guys who have been like, let's just drink at the bar. It's basically free. And just enjoying yourselves for a while. And yeah, so you take her up to bed and kind of tuck her in. And she looks at you and says, they seem like they're looking for some guidance, except for the really tall one. Mm-hmm. You should help them when you can.
I do try.
The one with the blue eyes seems very difficult to help. But that doesn't mean you should stop trying.
I brought him back from the dead.
And she just kind of gives you a big smile. And you hear her just kind of pulling the covers closer and just, that's my sister. And goes into a yawn and then pulls herself a little closer and steadily goes to sleep.
Good night, Hoon. And I slowly close the door.
Okay.
Which blue eyes were you talking about? Because both Hubris and Wolf have blue eyes.
I wonder. I will go back downstairs. Yeah, right.
Okay.
And unless there's nothing.
Yeah.
Unless everyone else goes to bed.
No, I'm just at the end of the bar writing.
Writing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not on soap because I think I've only got like one bar left, and that's my shopping list.
If I can catch Ghost, I'll just chat with her real quick.
Yes?
He has like this really, I wouldn't say shit-eating grin, but it's like, so, your sister's here.
Yes. And?
Seeing a side of you I've never seen before.
Choose your words wisely.
What?
Hubris.
I was just gonna say, you're kind of kind when she's around.
Don't get used to it.
Oh, I'm not gonna. It's just amusing, that's all. I'm sorry, it's a different side of you.
Mm.
And when when Ghost kind of made that threat, you could hear the chair Kronk was sitting on like creak. Like, are we killing Hubris now?
Because I'll do it.
Like it just like it started to kind of flex out, and the chair just kind of went like.
God damn it! I gotta kill everyone tonight.
That's so good.
I'm gonna go sit with Kronk.
Alrighty, sounds good. So you guys are sitting next to each other, and then Wolf, you were just writing out your shopping list. Did you want to do anything else tonight?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Let's see.
Moved on to chapter 4. Level up. Yay!
Nope, not yet. I am... Because if you guys are just going through, like just going to sleep, you guys don't have anything else planned for the evening?
No.
Alrighty. So yeah, you
I'm
guys...
so exhausted. I ain't doing nothing which involves a check for another day.
Alrighty. So yeah, you all end up returning back to your previous rooms later in the evening, and then you go through a long rest with no real like any disturbances. Really, you can hear Hoon is snoring kind of loudly from her room, but your guys' room is far enough away that it really doesn't bother you too bad. If anything, Hubris might be kept up a little later by it, but he has a magical power to fall asleep within 5 minutes, so don't even worry about that. Yeah, you guys wake up the next day, and you can actually smell the smell of food kind of permeating from underneath your floorboards. And Kronk, you can smell food coming from above where your stoneworking has been being done. And as you guys all collectively make your way downstairs, Hoon has made breakfast for all of you.
Ooh. I am like chair pulled up at the counter with my fork and knife. Yes.
Yeah, and so she ends up coming out, and it looks like she has thrown together a couple omelets for you guys, as mostly vegetable based, as she didn't really know where you kept your meat stores, but she was able to find vegetables without much problem, and she actually used some of the herbs that she had gotten yesterday to help season the meal a little bit. And eventually comes out and sets it in front of all of you guys, and then finally brings hers out last and sets it down. And then says, I didn't know how to make the coffee, if that's all right.
That's fine.
Take mine white.
I'll make it today, and I'll make a white one for Hubris because I'm being nice, and he requested white.
Okay.
You're such an asshole.
2 sugars in it this time.
Did you sleep well?
Well,
Oh, no, well, yeah. Oh, okay.
I mean, I slept relatively well. It's kind of early. I mean, I wake up early in general. Whenever the sun kind of starts peeking over, that's around the time that I wake up. It's not too bad.
Yeah, that's a good time.
Well, I've spent years sleeping outside. It's much easier to wake up to kind of natural clock going on than just picking a time and trying to wake up around that. And this way I can make you all breakfast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mighty
Kronk?
good. Oh, thank you. Mighty good. I mean, he's just like, go.
Is there anything you wanted to do today?
Not particularly. Because I've seen everything that I really wanted to see. That we could see anyways. And...
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. If you would like, I can clean up a little bit around here or something.
No, we
It's
have
fine.
people for that. I think, should go speak with our neighbors at some point if you'd like to join us with that venture.
Yeah, that sounds fine. I wouldn't mind just hanging out.
How long are you going to stay?
I was thinking a day, 2 days. wasn't really sure. I didn't know what state you were in, to be honest, but you look fine. Actually, I think I will be heading out.
When? Not today.
Well, I don't want to hold you all back from anything. From doing what you're doing from, well, I mean, at least I would hope that you stop killing yourselves, really. That would
Physically or metaphorically?
I mean, both is probably good.
Well, it is Tuesday.
We've only got 2 more to go, and then we've done the whole group.
And
Hers comes back with the fire eye, I come back with the crawling hand. What are the other 2 going to come back with? Let's find out.
That's
Concerning?
incredibly morbid. And it's at that point that you hear a loud knocking on your front door. Just
Yes.
Don't worry, guys. I got this.
Okay, cool.
okay.
Hang on, we'll go over and open up the door.
Okay.
What do you want?
So when you open up the door and demand what do you want, you see standing in front of you is a very tall human that has his face painted, one side red and the other side white, with these 2 stars over each eye, and he seems to be wearing very bright and colorful clothing. And he throws his arms out and says, "You have been formally invited to Zazard's Zord Carnival of the Seas!" And he holds down a piece of paper and extends it towards you.
Hubris, your family's here.
Go fuck yourself.
For the
Walk
one night only, we shall be having the performance of a lifetime. We have heard that the people of this world were shaken and just generally disrupted by a horrible explosion. So we, with Zazarzord,
Fine.
would like to throw you an evening of enjoyment and wonder.
Hubris
They're
walks
yelling
over.
at me early in the morning.
And you can see that down the street there are other performers that are doing like cartwheels into people's doorways to then start knocking and also begin handing out flyers.
And I'll point him to who's that guy who keeps like death staring us?
That would be Froon.
Froon.
That dude, and I'll point at his house. Would love you to go knock on his door right now.
I'll be sure to do so. And you see him just make
sure you tell him I sent you.
He does like backwards somersaults down your guys' stairs until he's on the street, and then kind of tilts on one hand and then begins to cartwheel down the street towards Froon's house, where you see him come to a complete stop, wrap his hands on the doors, and then as soon as that door opens, you hear that same spiel that was said to you, but just, "Hello, we represent Zazazard!" off in kind of the farther distance, but you're just left in the doorway holding this piece of paper.
I like that guy.
Listen, Wolf, just because I come from a circus doesn't mean I'm related to every single clown. I'm not related to you, am I?
I'm not a clown.
No.
Hubris,
Yeah.
are you that flexible?
Yeah, Hubris, you that flexible, buddy?
He thinks to himself, and then he, like, stands up, goes to the middle of the floor, and, like, leans back and, like, does the bridge.
Okay.
And then from there, he, like, pops off and does, like, a
Is this an
handstand.
acrobatics check?
Yes, this will
Oh,
be
yeah,
an
that's
acrobatics check.
You call that something? I'm gonna try and just do a backflip in the air without touching the ground. That is an 18 to me.
Oh no.
Oh, what is it? He's
Sorry,
moving the
Stan.
camera. He's moving the camera.
Focus.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh!
It's 20. Can you see the
Wow,
20?
you're terrible at this.
There you go.
There we go.
You can see the 20. I can't.
Yes,
I can
yes.
see the other numbers around it to the point I know it's a 20. So yeah, you...
And then I punch him in the face.
So yeah, you go through this small tumbling act, just like, oh, this is an easier way to describe how flexible I am, and you just kind of go through this small act and pop up, seemingly without any kind of effort. And you just hear Hoon say, "Ooh."
And is that why you fell off the roof?
It's been a while. I don't really particularly specialize in the tightrope, but I knew a Dryda once. She was cool.
Kronk, can you do that?
All right, sure.
So, Kronk, before you add,
Oh,
for you, because of your background as a gladiator / entertainer, I will let you use your performance check for this.
Okay.
If it ends up being resulting in a higher number, you can use performance.
all right.
I didn't get that option.
Got a nat 20. Shut up.
I get a 14 with my bonus.
Okay, so are you trying to imitate him exactly, or are you just trying to do something else and exert physical motion?
I think yeah, it's more of a welcome to the gun show kind of thing, because if I tried to do what he did, I would put my feet through the ceiling and then
Yeah.
break tables and everything would be bad. So yeah, I try to do some maybe like a handstand sort of thing, and then I put my feet on the ceiling and then I kind of walk, like that, and then pop down and like swing, throw my scimitars around and tuck them back in one move. sort of
Okay.
deal.
Yeah. Hoon
Wow.
and Ghost are both just very nice.
Way too early for this shit.
Bye.
Would you guys like to go see the carnival tonight?
I'm down.
See,
Kronk?
now you
Love-
can't leave. I point at your sister. I say, "See, now you can't leave. You gotta come with us to carnival."
Honestly, that does sound extremely fun, and being mostly in landlocked cities, I don't know the next time I'll be on a carnival on a ship. So I'll definitely stick around for that.
What's the worst that can happen? We can all swim, right?
I can swim.
I can swim.
Okay, so we're safe.
And when she agreed, Kronk will pull her in for a hug.
Yeah, she'll just go along with it. She's a hugger.
Uh,
Oh yeah. Do we want to go talk? Should we go talk to our neighbors?
It's still early, right?
Yeah,
What,
it's
this is just a meet and greet, or are we actually questioning them?
Figure out if they've seen anything, right? We want to know more.
What do we all know?
I don't know.
Yes, you weren't there. You decided to be lame. We saw.
Behind, I was resting because I was exhausted because somebody killed me.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Somebody brought you back. So, we saw this and I'll go into the story about the mechanical guy on the roof and what Hoon had said
okay.
about everything.
And then
Yeah.
do you bring up your meeting with Zaraj, yay or nay?
Not when Hoon's there.
Okay.
And I will say, like, we went to Fala's shop and we met an old friend. And then I'll meet.
I'm yet to meet this guy, so
Oh yeah, that's true.
I hate that guy.
what guy?
Me too.
The
Yeah.
old friend.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about
okay.
it. We'll talk about it later, Wolf.
No, I want to know now.
Hey, you remember that one guy that I told you about? The half-orc asshole?
The really attractive one.
I wouldn't say that.
I would.
Did you tell me about him?
I'm pretty sure he told you about him. Because then I think there was a conversation like, oh yeah, that guy. He's a dick.
Isn't this the same guy who we talked to on the hill?
No.
In the city of the... No, not in the city of the dead.
Nope.
No. I confirmed this with Endor. I have no idea who this guy is.
Oh, okay.
Alright, cool.
Maybe
He's
we're
the
talking
one
about
who
notes.
gave me my tattoo.
Oh, what did he say?
Hello.
And when you say she's the one who, or he's the one who gave me my tattoo, Hoon just looks at you and like points to her chest.
No, not that one.
Oh yeah, about that tattoo.
And
Might
then,
as well just discuss everything now.
and then you see her just kind of give you this eye, like this side eye, just like,
I have 3. We don't need to discuss everything.
We know of 2.
Look. I'm gonna make this easy for all of you. I'm not gonna pretend like I understand what it is you're talking about. But there is one thing I do understand, and she takes all of your dirty dishes. And that's cleaning.
Nope, you're the guest here.
Hubris, why don't you join her while I speak with Wolf?
Fine.
Kronk, do you want to supervise?
Sure.
All right.
Supervise what?
I heard
The
a
cleaning?
no in there. Yeah.
Well, and also too, at one point when you made the face like at,
Yeah.
at Wolf, I nearly booted him across the room, like shoved his chair. But then you guys smoothed it out. All right, I lump off with
Yes, you wanted to speak of my tattoo.
Yeah. When'd you get it?
This one, right?
Yeah, I'll read it if I can see it. 'Cause I read Celestial
Oh,
and speak it, which is amazing.
well, you want to read it?
What's
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, all right. So I start unbuttoning. I undo the flippy thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm thinking if only Hubris could walk out right now and be like, hey, buddy.
And I lower my undershirt so you can see all of it.
Okay, and what does it say?
Oh, that's a good question. Do you?
Yes,
It's
so,
basically. Do you have
it
it right
was... No, but I have a very good memory. And it was... give me strength against those that would stand against my friends and family. That was it.
Give me strength to bring vengeance on those who
Oh.
have wronged my friends and family.
Yes.
Discord.
Discord messages.
Pretty intense.
I know what it says, but I can't read it. I mean, I can't speak it in Celestial, I suppose.
Also, when I was dead,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this means anything or not, but my little goddess of bad luck gave like a mini kind of warning about your eye.
About my eye.
Yeah, I don't know if it meant anything or was just...
Well, here's the question. Would the goddess of bad luck tell you something to give you good luck? Or would she tell you...
I don't think she provides bad luck. She's more just there for unlucky people.
But would she then in turn tell you something to give you good luck?
I'm not going to try and understand a god, okay?
Fair enough.
All I know is that she let me relive the death of my sister. Because
How nice of her.
But I did see the guy which did it, and I'll describe the light-skinned, bald half-orc with the split lip.
Oh, well, good news. That's who I'm trying to find, I think. Yes, the half-orc gentleman told me that that's who I'm to look for. So, our fates align. It would
So
seem.
you're not going to do a hubris and go do this by yourself, and then...
I'm not an idiot.
There's soap everywhere. Why?
Sorry.
And I think it would be quite fun to track this person. What do you think?
Oh, he's mine.
Oh, you can kill him all you want. I don't believe I was told to bring him back dead or alive. Just to find him.
And what's this guy which told you to do this?
The half-orc gentleman,
Zarash.
Zarash.
Okay, I'm never going to attempt to spell that.
All right. Anyways,
Okay, see, look, that wasn't hard, was it?
what do you mean?
Telling the truth.
I always tell the truth.
Kronk, he cheated.
I've said I'm sorry.
Truth telling. Yes.
Are we okay?
What do you mean?
I mean, I didn't really get a chance to speak with you while you were in your right
That's
mind.
because you kind of walked off.
Because you're very infuriating.
That's part of my charm.
Are we all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Are we okay?
As in,
You and I.
how would we not be? What is considered okay?
Do you trust me?
That is a tough question. Trust you with what? Why? Why are you asking? Normally when someone goes, do you trust me? It's gonna be like, because I need you to do a favor.
Well, if we're going to work together, I need you to trust me.
Well, I trust everyone.
That seems problematic.
Probably
Trust
why
me.
I owe it. Trust you
me to
with.
get the job done.
It's a mix between trusting you to get the job done, but not without putting yourself in unnecessary risk.
Oh, I'm going to stand in the back from now on. I'm the healer.
Well then, yes. Well then, yes. But I'm still yet to see you stand in the back and not get dropped.
All right, then.
I guess I should probably ask the same question.
Do I trust you?
Yeah.
I trust-
general.
I do. I think that there are occasions when you run your mouth more than you should. But,
Name one.
2 nights ago when you got yourself killed.
He wasn't putting his all into it.
What about when you punched the gentleman outside because you...
I told him not to bring the sign up. I asked him nicely. I was trying to be nice to get it safe for us. And then I warned him.
What about when I punched you that one time?
That was because I called Liv Casper. And I pushed the chair over. Wasn't really running my mouth. I pushed the chair over.
Ghost, big eye roll. I'm going to go see if they need help. And as I walk back in there, I'm buttoning up my shirt and redoing my kerchief.
Yep, and that's about Kronk.
So by supervise, I assume she meant keep them in there. So we all walked into the kitchen, and then Kronk, they start doing dishes, and Kronk just like leaned against the door, yeah, like this. So when Ghost tries to come in, it's like, and I'd step aside so the door could open.
So how you? Okay.
Supervising.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Hi.
Hello. Do you need any help?
No,
I think
we're-
we got in here.
There were 6 dishes for 3 people. Or 5 dishes for 3 people. I think we're good.
All right. Well, you may exit, I guess. Well, that's not
Thank
exactly what
you.
I meant.
Yes, thank you. I didn't know we had to have permission to move room to room in my bar.
Our bar.
Our bar.
And as Hoon's walking out, she'll put her hand on your shoulder and just kind of lean in and say very quietly, "He's very charming," and then just continue walking forward.
I look at him and I give him this like eyes, and then I walk away.
Hubris is humming.
All right.
Who do we want to talk to first?
Well, we could always talk to the detective, Victor Trench.
I would like to speak with the sketchy gentleman next door as well.
A lot of sketchy gentlemen in this area. but
The one-
okay.
We live in the same house. Gosh.
What's the guy's name across the street?
Prune?
Rune?
Froon.
Part of Froon's distillery.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Do we serve his beer?
No.
Nope.
No.
He would
Why?
not sell it to
He
us.
wouldn't
I think
sell
we
it, yeah.
tried his beer.
Oh.
He just
Is it
refused to sell it to you on principle.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure it's some shitty IPA that like doesn't even have the right amount of hop
Session.
to whatever. However beer's made.
Mm. Well, Froon or the other gentleman?
Okay. Yeah, whichever one you guys want.
Which one's closer?
The closest one would be the Tiger's Eye, as they are located directly across the street. And you know that it's generally too early for Victor to be out at lunch like he normally is, so you might actually find him in his home for once.
If the metal things associated with that temple of whatever,
Inspired.
yeah, wouldn't we be asking them questions?
Well, let's get all of the information first, and then we'll interrogate.
Yeah, let's work inward out.
I mean, talk to them.
Inward out,
yeah.
so outwards.
Closest, furthest.
So work outwards.
Yeah, so yeah, you
I'm
guys...
going to roll to punch you.
Do it, you'll get another 20.
Bring it. Bring it. I'm just going to stick my head out. You couldn't hit me even if you tried.
So yeah, you guys make your way across the street to the Tiger's Eye. And when you get to the door, you can see that he is currently open. There's a sign that's hanging on a little window on the inside part of his door that even says, "We are open." And you can see that as soon as you open the door and kind of look at it, that on the other side, rather than saying "we're closed," it just says "out to lunch." And you make your way into Victor's place. And as you do, it is just this very rich, like woodeny smell, and you can smell that there is a little bit of tobacco in the air as well. And as you enter into the shop, you can see that it's more of like this back room area that has a large table and a very nice large chair. There are windows that have shutters on them. You can see that there is what looks to be a slow-moving fan on the ceiling directly over the desk. And as you open up the door, looking around, you can see that there are just these chairs that are kind of scattered around the back, and Victor is smoking out of a pipe. And he sets the pipe down as you guys enter in and just says,
Yes. The owners of my fine neighborhood establishment, or neighboring establishment, I should say. What brings you here to Tiger's Eye this early in the day?
Victor, how are you, friend?
I'm doing well, but there's somebody here I haven't met, and I'd at least like a name to go off of. You.
I'm Ghost.
We've met before. Who's this other you?
he's come by the bar several
Oh,
times.
okay.
Yeah.
I kind of leave it to her to introduce herself.
Oh, you can call me Hoon. It's fine.
Well, it's very nice to meet you, Ms. Hoon. Now, what is it that you're all here looking for, mind you?
He's just kind of smoking on his pipe.
The events a few days ago, the tragedy that happened in front of our bar, explosion. You're a detective. Would you happen to have had an ear out for any goings-on in the city regarding that?
Well, as you may have gathered from my work as a whole, being an investigator means not delivering information free of charge.
Oh, of course. We can talk rates in... now, I guess.
As good a time as any, I will suppose. Now, Are you hiring me for a continued investigation on this case, or are you going to try and investigate on your own means?
The latter.
Well, if it's investigating for the sake of investigating, I can spare information that I have for 25 gold pieces.
Do you have like a friends and family discount, or is that already applied to 25 gold pieces?
We're neighbors, dear Hubris. We don't hang out on the reg. We don't discuss the weather. And I don't regularly fetch drinks in your bar because there's not Doug ruffians play there quite regularly.
Should we start a delivery service, in your opinion?
Leave not Doug out of this, okay?
Oh, that music it pains my ears.
Do you even have information?
Do you even have 25 gold?
Oh.
I'm a man of my word. It comes with being an investigator.
How about this? We give you 15 gold, and I offer you my services as a tracker.
I don't need help with tracking.
Are you sure?
Yes.
All right.
I'm not doing this because somebody has paid me to. I'm doing this out of the kindness of my own heart. So I don't really mind if it takes a little bit of time as long as the end gets done.
All right.
So for 15, I can give you some of the information that I know, but not all.
Just pay him, Hubris.
Yeah, I was about to. I'll hand him 25 gold.
Ah, excellent. Well, let's see. What I know is that there was a chase going on. Seemed like there were 3 men chasing down a gnome who was running through the street. Now, from what I've heard from others, there was a mechanical figure on a rooftop also following along with these folk. Now, it is after they entered the alleyway, for reasons that are still unbeknownst to me, possibly heading towards the sewer grate to escape, something like that. The gnomish fellow did have muckier boots. It was like he'd been in the sewers for quite some time. But it seems like the metallic creature wasn't exactly on the same page as the others and threw down an explosive bead, something of the like, causing the explosion that we all saw before you. Now, the one piece of information that I have is that this one of these attackers did end up surviving this thing, from this explosion. From what I've heard, he looked through the pockets of the gnome rather quickly and then, well, skedaddled on off out of the general area that we see. So I'm not really sure what to make of that, and I haven't had a tale of this metal creature since then.
Well, the 3 men, were they human?
One was a half-orc, and the other 2 were human, yes.
And the half-orc survived?
From the eyewitness accounts that I have received, yes.
Split lip? Teeth showing?
I am not really quite sure.
Well, you can mark that down as something you didn't know.
Yes, thank you. And this is what we like to call sharing information.
Oh.
Yes, but I didn't charge you. Anyways.
Paying it forward.
The mechanical creature. Have you seen it before? Have you heard of it before?
I've heard of creatures like this before. There's an island off in the trackless sea where a lot of these creatures are created and maintained. It seems like They worship this Gond fellow, god of inventors, and that is his primary form of worship. And then, of course, there's also the temple within town, the House of Inspired Hands. Every year, they loan out some of these mechanical creations that they've received from that island in the Trackless Sea to spread joy throughout the town.
And fire, apparently.
Yes, apparently.
Interesting.
He takes another puff of his tobacco pipe.
Do we still have the flyer for the the cruise ship? Probably, right?
Yeah, unless Wolf just tossed it away. You're muted, Wolf.
I didn't bring it, but he probably has one here because I knocked on every door.
Yeah.
Yeah, Victor, do you happen to have one of those flyers for the cruise ship going out?
Well, yes. I hadn't really planned on throwing it in the fire just yet. I don't plan on going. I have other things that I fill my night with. But
Can I see it real quick?
yes, of course.
He hands you the flyer. As
As
the light kind of comes in through the window blinds to illuminate it more on your piece of paper.
I'm gonna read over it. Does it tell us the course the ship is gonna take, or is it just gonna go out to sea and back?
It's just going to stay in the harbor.
Okay.
Yeah. And it says, come to the dock wards, come to the harbor closest to the entry to the Spire of Morning at 7:30 this evening, or at it'd be about 7 in the evening, to come watch high-flying acrobatics, fire breathers, magicians, animal tamers, and all sorts of other grand and wonderful things. And you see that there is this kind of human man with light skin and very dark hair, his hands raised, and it looks almost like he is in a juggling position. And you can see that there are what looks to be iconography representing different theatrical acts that he seems to just be juggling in one hand to the other. And it says free entry upon bringing in this flyer to any and all. And then at the bottom, in a very fanciful hand, it says Zazor de Zord, or Zazard Zord.
Sort on.
Power Rangers.
Yeah, I guess I got all I needed.
Froon, our lovely neighbor. Any suggestions on speaking with him?
Don't.
Fair enough.
He doesn't like you. He barely likes me. He was sleeping when all this came out.
Well, you asked him already then.
Yes. As he claims to have been sleeping.
Mid-afternoon,
He
is
doesn't
that?
like
oh.
me.
I mean, he doesn't like the lot of you. You're very loud in the later evening with your bar in the center of our little alleyway, but I understand that it's a business. And I don't really mind because most of the night, like I said, I have other things I'm taking care of. Mostly my job. But it would be nice to have an early evening every once in a while again.
Well, perhaps we can have a poetry night where it doesn't get so rowdy.
Now that sounds like a wonderful idea.
He takes another drag from his
Lamb
pipe.
poetry.
Kronk the poet.
Kronk.
I'd love to see that.
Just like Kronk saying a line and then.
Yeah,
Is
I
there
don't have
anything
anything
else that you would require of me?
What is he? What race?
Human. Just an old, weathered-looking human guy.
No. I do have a question, though. Why does it always look like it's nighttime in here?
Ah. Well, See, as much as I love to smoke, I know it's terribly bad for the glass. It will actually create a film on the glass itself, so it always has this kind of sepia grade tone inside of this room, which really just helps.
I believe they call it noir.
Do they now?
Yeah.
I think I'll write that down. And you see him pull out a pen and just write down, and he's writing it down with his left hand as he does. As you realize that he is a left-handed person.
We make our way out.
Yeah. And as you do, as soon as you step outside, Hoon just
Oh, you'll get used to it.
No, I won't.
I thought you used to smoke tobacco quite often, or
You know,
pipe weed.
well, pipeweed's a little different than tobacco. But the thing also with smoking tobacco is that once you're done smoking it, it really doesn't smell as good as it did previously. And also, it's not for me.
I flick everyone, like I snap. Everyone smells a little bit like lilac.
Except for Ghost or Wolf, who still smells like lavender.
Yeah, no, I try to do it. He just stays.
It
smelling
just
like
stays lavender scent.
That's so that's so concerning. Like usually that works. It doesn't with you.
You can't beat this.
Wolf is just doing that sway. Just sliding back and forth. Just, you can't beat this. Now, is there anything else anybody else you wanted to talk to? You said not to talk to your neighbor.
Not Froon. Froon's an asshole.
Who else is
I
down
have some line which I could follow, but
Perhaps for later?
I don't know if you just want to talk to a criminal.
We talk to one every day, Wolf.
Yeah, but another one. Do you know the one which wants me to become king of Waterdeep?
Oh, I was talking about you. We talked to you, you fucking criminal. Okay.
I know, but that's why I said another one.
You know, I think I'm just going to hang out with Fala today, if that's all right.
Yes. That's fine.
No.
No?
No.
No. No.
Why don't
Why not?
you and I take a girls' day and we'll go shopping and eat food?
I was
Or just stay in the house and read?
Until 7 and then carnival.
Okay. Did you end up putting in a word with Davil for me?
Yes. Oh, do I know where he is?
You
nice.
do not. You don't know where his house is or anything like that.
Okay. Shit. Oh,
Yeah, he's got talented fingers.
thank you.
I turned to Kronk.
I'm sorry. I was just enjoying my time with you a bit too much, I guess. It slipped my mind. I wanted you there, but I didn't want you sauced. So when they come by tonight, we can see if they're interested in maybe going with us, ending their set early.
Okay.
Oh. I'm gonna go see Embrick and Avi.
Okay. Sounds good.
Well,
You're two fire
yes.
genasi neighbors.
My fire genasi.
Well, one fire genasi, one water. Yes.
We're gonna go back to the house and read.
Sure.
I don't know. What does she want to do? I don't want her to go see Fala.
She just wanted to hang out in the garden space.
I know.
And she asks, is there any other place that has like any kind of fields or grass area?
We
I
have a
do.
garden.
I know an arborist. Wait, no, I don't.
No, you don't.
Different game.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
You can make a history check if you would like.
I would like. +3.
Okay. Yeah, you would know that in Waterdeep there is one place that does function as a very large walled garden area, and that would be the City of the Dead.
I will. Yep. That sounds like fun.
Okay.
I will let her know that that is a place if she's interested in going.
And she just kind of like looks at you a little confused and just, the city's strange enough. Who knows? Maybe, is it a graveyard?
Is it a graveyard? Yes. Yeah. Yes, but it's quite beautiful.
Well, all right. I suppose we could go and see.
All right.
All right.
And I take her.
Sounds good. So yeah, the two of them go off towards the city of the dead. What are the three boys doing? You
Going
said
to
you're
west.
going to the Steam and Steel. All right.
I'm gonna do the bad decision and go try and find Zan.
Okay. Sounds good. And then Kronk, what are you doing as Wolf and Hubris seem to be splitting up?
And everybody took off a different direction.
Yes.
Kronk's just standing there by himself for a while.
I'm gonna
I guess he's gonna have to think about it. If nobody said to come with them
just
or
like
whatever, he's just gonna.
I'm gonna turn and go, "Hey, big guy, you want to look at weapons for a while?"
Yeah, that sounds good. Let's do that. And then he'll follow after Hubris.
Another Hubris and Kronk adventure where it ends with ice cream and Wolf dying.
It still could end up with me dying.
All right, so yeah, you guys make your way to the Steam and Steel, and when you get close, you can see that your two friends, Avi and, for the life of me, I can't remember.
Avi and Embrick.
Avi and Embrick are busily toiling away. And as you kind of show up, Embrick just sort of waves to you and then kind of shouts over to Avi. And so Avi then picks up some of the stuff that he was working on. He takes it over to like a fine tuning worker's tool kind of deal. And begins doing very, very tiny, very delicate metallurgy, almost for like a necklace or a bracelet. But he just seems to be kind of interweaving these metal rings. And then Embrick comes up to you. It's good to see you, Hubris.
Embrick, how you doing?
What can I do for you?
I'm just looking to purchase a longsword.
All right. Well, longsword, a place like this, because we're friends, at least I would like to believe so, is going to fetch you 12 gold pieces.
Really, for me?
For you. And what about you, Kronk? What would you like? We have all sorts of weapons here. We have armor. We have, we've made some very good goblets lately. You know, getting ready for mulled wine season.
What about what would it cost for a breastplate?
Well, the breastplate,
450.
450. Well, we could probably go as low as 375.
I have to get back to you on that one.
It's all right. Maybe we could think of a business plan of sorts. But is there anything else that we can provide here at the Steam and Steel?
Let me think. I was wondering if you could fashion me also a sort of weapon. It's a bit exotic.
And at that, you see Avi stop moving. Did he say exotic weapons? Just... I wish he wouldn't have, but yes, he did.
I slide up to Avi. You're like, "Hey, Avi."
So, exotic weapons, what kind?
It's actually quite simple of an exotic weapon.
Like
Back
a
at the
trident simple exotic, or...
Think of a you know what a wushu rope dart is? It's basically like a long piece of rope tied to like a kunai.
Oh, kunai with chain.
A kunai with chain.
Okay, yeah, I know kunai with chain. Thanks, Yu-Gi-Oh.
But it's not like the bladed one, it's the actual
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Well, I could make something like that.
Yeah, but instead of like a rope, could it be like a lightweight chain?
I think I could do that. I think I actually have some lightweight chain that we've just been sitting on, really. Thought it would be better than selling hemp rope or a kind of woven rope. Maybe like a metal rope would make people excited. But no
Excited?
takers. Surprisingly, no takers.
Well, you know what they say, if there's a market.
This is true. This is very true. I could probably get that to you in about 3 hours. 2-3 hours?
Let's sans the longsword then, and we'll go with that.
Well, I don't have to make the longsword.
Well, no, I mean, like, I'm kind of broke at the moment.
Oh.
So it's either gonna be one or the other, and I have to budge the rest of the money for tonight.
How I can do a 10-foot of rope, of metal rope.
For how much?
20 gold.
I could do that if I sans the longsword.
All right.
It's gonna be so cool.
It's going to be really fun. And Embrick just looks down at the ground, just like holding the longsword he was going to sell you in his hands.
Listen, Embrick, I pat him on the cheek. Hold that for me. When I come into money, I will come back for it.
Okay.
I promise.
I
Pinky
know.
swear.
Well, we could figure out a deal, maybe. Okay. And he just brings his finger up and he pinky promises you.
Oh, I love you too.
We love you 3.
Yeah.
And Kronk could be like, except I'm gonna buy that long sword.
Oh.
And I grab it and I take the gold and then I hand it to Hubris.
Embrick's eyes just get very wide. Just, you? Yes, sir. Hands you the longsword. All right, that'll be 12 gold. He'll take the gold pieces from you.
All right. I will minus them from D&D Beyond.
Using the powers of D&D Beyond. Keep track of your inventory with D&D Beyond.
Cool.
All right, and is there anything else that you would like to do here?
That's it.
Okay. So, Wolf, you are going to look for Zan, your tiefling buddy. All right, make an investigation check.
You said we had arranged a place to meet.
This is to find that place. Because he gave you a name, but he didn't give you an exact location.
16.
All right. So yeah, with your 16, you end up finding the bar that he had suggested that you guys meet at, and it was on the dock ward, kind of facing out over the harbor, and it looks like a pretty dilapidated place. And you would know this to be the first place that you actually went to meet, or at least when you were tracking down your dear friend, not Fabio. And the name of that place
This is one that's really drafty, isn't it?
Yeah, this one has like a hole in the ceiling, and a lot of the chairs had been pushed up closer to the fire.
What's in it, like the crustacean something?
No, the rusted crustacean was where one Istrid Horn was.
Right. And that's where I go for my contacts.
This was...
That's where I gave up my hair and blood.
Yeah.
Just like a trip down memory lane today.
It's actually off of Candled Lane, and it's the Skewered Dragon. So yeah, you go to the Skewered Dragon, and when you get inside, you can just see kind of sitting up next to the fire, drink in hand, just this one-eyed tiefling, just sitting there looking. He's wearing white armor that looks pretty tarnished. And he is just fully deep in his mug, and he sets it down and just kind of laughs to himself, and you can just hear, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. As you begin making your way over towards him.
As I question, is this the smartest idea I've had? And I continue walking.
All right. So yeah, you come over towards him, and without even shifting his head to look directly at you, almost like he can feel your movements coming towards him. He just says, "Wolf, long time no see. How you been?" And that's when he turns up and looks at you. And he just has that big shit-eating grin on his face, his silver eye just almost seeming to look right through you.
Third day out, being killed, being resurrected. Same old, same old.
That's incredible. Sit. What do you want to drink? Ale? Ale? Or ale? They don't really have a lot of variety here, but man, is it cheap.
I'm good.
Suit yourself.
I need a drink.
Just starts. Just continues to drink. And then he'll set his mug down. Say, "Well, you said that you've been out a day and you've already died. And I'm assuming you came back to life somehow, because otherwise...
Yeah.
Am I talking to a zombie right now?"
No.
Okay.
Blue eyes, not orange.
Just wanted to check. Just wanted to make sure. Can't be too careful. I wouldn't mind either way. Some of my best friends are dead. So it really wouldn't have made that big of a difference if you were too. But, what can I do for you?
I need a couple of favors. One kind of works towards your ultimate end goal.
Okay. And
First
what are
off,
the other favors for?
I need to track down a dude.
Okay.
And I would describe the bald half-orc with the split lip.
Okay.
I need him tracked down. Have you heard of anything? I'm assuming you've heard about the explosion.
Yeah, that sounded crazy.
Yeah, this guy's related to that.
Okay. Well, like you, I've only been out for 2 days. I've kind of been enjoying these drinks. These drinks have been really nice. But I can ask if anybody else has seen this guy. I'm pretty good at talking, pretty good at making friends from people. I can either ask below the sewers or above ground. How would you prefer?
He's associated with the Gentile.
Below the sewers it is. Because if the Zents come back on me, I will throw you under the bus so fucking hard. I want nothing to do with them, man.
Well, they're the one who's also after this guy.
I don't see why they would come after me. In which case, you have nothing to worry about. And he just goes back to drinking. And then he eventually sets his mug down. Now, we're friends, aren't we? So what do I get? So what do I get if I do these favors to you? Continued friendship, coin.
What do you want?
I like magic things. I like anything magical. Anything and everything. So if you have anything magical that you can give to me, depending on how magical it is, that will determine how quickly this gets done. Because I can be very inspired when I want to be.
I don't think I have anything magical. The only magical thing I have, I'm not giving up because that's me.
So you have a magical arm?
I mean, no. Fuck. Have some soap. Do you want some soap?
No. There's no going back on this one. I would love a magical arm. That sounds Amazing. That sounds fantastical. So, how about this? You want me to find a guy? I can find a guy. That's easy.
Nice pay you gold.
Like I said, I really like magic things.
This guy used magic to do bad shit.
Well, you said you had 3 favors you wanted to ask of me?
I had 2, and after the answer to your first one, I don't think I really want to give you the second one.
Well, that's no fun. I
was
thought we were
providing
friends.
information. I was providing information for you, but then if you're just going to throw me underneath the bus and you get caught with this entire, I'm not providing you with this information.
If you were to give me your magical arm, I
It's
wouldn't
kind
care.
of attached to me.
That can be taken care of?
Yeah, no, that hurts. Trust me, I know.
Oh, I'm sure it does. But the Zentarum would hurt me a lot. And I like equal trade. I like playing it fair by my own books. So if I were to get injured severely, then at least maybe
Since
I would have an arm to fall back on.
It doesn't listen to other people. Nothing. Nothing. I said nothing.
Well, how much gold do you have? What is it that you're offering
much?
me?
Do you want?
150? Help me get back on my feet?
Yeah, nah. I don't have that much.
We're at an impasse. I offer you my friendly prices at a discount. You say that you have this magical arm, and then you withhold it from me. I can give you whatever you want. I can find it. I can search it out. I can find out who this guy is. I could probably tell you who his mother is. I'm not asking for much.
You're asking for my left arm or 150 gold.
It's not much. From what you told me, you were an adventurer. You were a great thief.
Yeah,
Been
I am
on
a great
all
thief.
sorts of adventures. 150 gold
Tell me
should be
something I gotta
nothing.
steal. Tell me something I gotta steal. I'll go steal it.
I want a
I
bag.
have a bag.
I want a bag.
I have a backpack.
I don't want your backpack. I want a special bag. A fun bag. Can you get me a fun bag?
Where is
Between friends. Between
it?
friends.
Where is it?
Have you seen those ships out in the harbor?
The circus ones?
Yeah, the circus ones.
Yep, I know about them.
Now, should you find this bag for me on the central ship, it would have some inscribing on it, so that way you would know whose it was. Yeah. It's definitely mine. That's
What?
why it has the letters JB on it. Now, if you can get me this bag,
It's nothing like Zed. But okay.
it's close
What was
enough in
C?
Infernal.
You guys. Can you draw it for me? Because I don't read Infernal, so I have no idea what I'm looking for.
It has been a while since I did much of anything like drawing. And you see him pull out a piece of parchment from a pouch that he keeps at his right-hand side, and he begins drawing it out. And he ends up drawing a bag with, on the front, looks like a face. And this has what looks to be a kind of smiling face on it. You can make a Arcana check on that if you would like, as he has specified that this is a magical item he is searching after.
That is an 11.
Okay. Yeah, so with your 11, you are not very sure what that is. But the Zan ends up telling you, this is called a bag of holding. It allows you to just put a bunch of stuff inside of it, and then you can only find it if you know what you're looking for. just like the situation that we have here. I'm trying to find what you're looking for. I'm like the hand that you refuse to give.
Will this cover 1 or 2 favors?
This would cover me finding somebody for you. Because I believe this carnival's only going to be going on tonight, so you really only have this one chance to get on that ship. Unless you would just rather give me the hand. I really want it. You told me about it, and now I can't stop thinking about it. It's just there.
And
And he just begins like tapping his finger against the bar table.
if I stop in tomorrow and I have the bag, we'll discuss more. If not, I didn't get it.
Sounds good to me. Now, be warned, probably shouldn't put anything in that bag just yet. Just in case. Bags like that have a carrying capacity, and if anything exceeds that carrying capacity, then the bag is destroyed and it's of no use to me.
Okay.
And yeah, it would just be no use to me. So, get the bag. Come back. I'll find your guy. I'll be your left-hand man, as it were.
I reckon I can tell you what hang.
You did.
I did? Okay. Just a fucking shit trip. I hate this guy so much.
So? What do you say, partners? Friends?
Okay.
Or, if you want to go back on it, you can just stand up and leave, and we can consider our friendship kaput. We can call
I
it
said
done.
I'll try. I said if I see you tomorrow with the bag, it was a success. If not, I'm probably in prison again. And tell your guard friend to give me to him.
Sounds good to me. And if I find anything out, I'll come find you. Because like I said, I'm very good at talking to people, and I'm very good at finding people.
Okay.
I like to keep watch on all my friends. And he pats the eye that he pats where the eye patch is. And he says, I like to keep an eye on people.
Wait, what?
It's gonna be fine. And he just begins drinking out of his mug again. Now, are you sure you wouldn't like anything? Any kind of booze?
No, I'm good.
It was good seeing you,
I'm
Wolf.
just gonna leave. Fuck. Now I've got a crazy person to be able to see with a magic eye. Santarum tracked me by my blood and hair. Gone to town.
All right. And then Ghost, you and Hoon are...
Sorry.
That's all right. You and Hoon are currently walking through... you're walking through the City of the Dead. And you can see that this is one of the first times that you've been in here during the daylight, as the last time you came through was towards nighttime. But you can see that there is this giant pillar that stands towards the center of all of these burial mounds. And looking upon it, you can see that this is a much larger grave of reverence dedicated to the Paladinson family that two of the masked lords, or two of the open lords within Neverwinter's history, or not Neverwinter, Waterdeep, within Waterdeep's history, are actually buried here, as it seems like they were familial in nature. And these were paladins that ruled during the Draco Rage, which you had heard about. But you were not alive to see, and that was when there was a very strange magical outburst throughout the plane that caused hundreds of dragons to just go out of control for what seemed like a year, at least from what you've heard. And there seems to just be this giant pillar erected to the family that helped defend against that. As well as looking around, you can see that there are small gardens and small plots that have been turned into a kind of beautification process to help the overall area seem less morbid, seem a little less grim. But as you're all looking around, it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like it has as much life as you would expect. Normally, from what you've heard, this place is actually getting a lot of traffic through it, of just either people staying in here overnight. You know that during the summer and the fall, that homeless people throughout the town will actually stay in the City of the Dead, as it's just very comfortable. But now that it is winter, a lot of these plants have kind of decayed and have started to kind of fall back, and there isn't as much life and vibrancy. But as you are walking with Hoon, she goes over and she will extend a hand out to some of these plants, and she will cast Druidcraft, and you see these plants actually coming back to life as she walks by them.
It's nice.
This place is very quiet, and I like that a lot, actually. Rather than being out there in the city and hearing all of the sounds of bustle and industry, it's nice to just be able to rest here for a while. Just collect my thoughts. I'm not used to the crowds. I'm not used to the people. I'm not really used to much of any of this.
Mm-hmm.
But
I can imagine it's a big shift.
Yeah. But it's nice being here with you.
I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad I am too. But I do feel just generally anxious about being... That's why I didn't know whether or not to either leave this morning or leave tomorrow, or how long I would stay. I came because I followed my instincts. They've never really led me wrong. And so I don't know what to do when I don't know what my instincts are telling me now, because part of it's saying to stay and make sure that you're okay, and then the other part says to leave because everything's fine.
I think one more night couldn't hurt.
All right.
I think leaving tomorrow would be okay, and maybe I can come visit you soon.
I would like that. And she'll kind of come in and just give you another tight hug as you guys just stand together in the City of the Dead, no longer surrounded by the bustling city. And that is where we are going to call it for tonight's episode. It went by so quickly, but I wanted to say thank you to everybody who has come by and watched me dust the shoulders of being a DM, because I definitely felt clunky tonight going forward, but hopefully I will be in tip-top shape for next Monday's game and then next Tuesday's game as well, because I'm walking back. I'm so excited. But we are going to be going around doing our sign-offs. So, RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
Oh, hey, I'm RJustice282. You can find me on Twitter and recently Twitch at RJustice282, where I tweet about nerdy things, how my day's going, and about Mike Hatsune. Hi, Kylan. You can also find me here on Monday as Caleb.
All right. And Greybeard, where can we find you? What do you do?
I'm old Greybeard of Greybeards Tavern, and you can find me here on Tuesdays being Kronk, and on Sunday mornings I play Darkest Dungeon, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 to noon usually. And there's a couple props here that I like to play with. So see me then.
I'm excited. All right. And LB, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi, I'm LBHackEmUp, and this is Krieg, who likes to sit on my desk while I'm streaming. He was the star last night in our 4 Kids adventure. I'm here on Mondays and Tuesdays playing games. And I'm on the Discord every other day because I can.
Okay. And Barry. I was about to call you Wolf, but that's not your real name. It's just what I'm used to calling you at this point. So Barry, where can we find you? What do you do?
Find me on Twitter at Barry, here Tuesdays, knowing people on Discord every other day.
It's not ignoring. Come on.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You said these 3 days would be just narrated over in 10 minutes. You've gone a day and a half and 3 hours.
But you're also no longer exhausted. So it was like 3 days happened.
This is session 14 because this is how long you said this campaign would take.
And everyone say goodbye to Barry.
All right. And I am the Indoor Adventurer. You can find me here at twitch.tv/The Indoor Adventurer Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes on the weekend when I want to do a bonus Neverwinter stream. And I have a good time being able to play games with all of my friends. If you would like to go check out our audio cast, you can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, because apparently iTunes doesn't do podcasts anymore. But that's fine, as long as, or as well as any number of other popular podcast/audiocast listening platforms, except for Podbean. But we are trying to make our way to Podbean as well. You can also find us on YouTube at youtube.com/The Indoor Adventurer. And if you would like to support me, help support the show, you can check out the Patreon that we have, which will also give you access to our Discord channel. So that is patreon.com/The Indoor Adventurer as well. And I think I have a link to that. I do. So I'll post that in chat if anybody is interested. Wajang. So.
And access to the after show.
And access to the after show, which is going to be going on immediately after this show, where you can ask us questions from the audience. We already have a few audience questions that we're going to be getting into, which I am very excited to help answer. As well as it gives our players to ask each other about thoughts and feelings that their characters are having, but from a player perspective. So that way they can ask questions that their characters might not be able to ever get, like, how did you feel about this? So it's a great time. I would highly suggest checking it out. And if on some of these Patreon tiers, you also get a free adventure every month, which is super fun. And I write them myself for all of you people. But we will be doing our after show soon. I don't know why this is so hard for me today, but so
You don't want to leave.
I don't want to leave, but we're going to, so that way we can make our patrons happy. So we will see you. My cat is so wiggly. We will see you guys shortly. So thank you everybody for stopping by, and we will see you soon. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.